Hi, Ralph. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, sorry, I just lost my signal for a second there. Apologies for that.
No problem.
Um, can I just start, please, by asking how you're looking injury-wise going into the Christmas fixtures?
Yeah, it's a little bit early in the week, but we have some issues, definitely. After the very intense last week with 3 games in 6 days, you can see that, yeah, some guys are a little bit struggling. And yeah, it's early in the week, but so far, I can only tell you who didn't train so far. That is Ingzi, that is Yannick Westergaard, that is Redmond, or is suspended. So we have a few issues. Stewie had today a problem with his hand where somebody was stepping on it, but I think it's not a problem. But we have a few issues, and yeah, we must have a look what is about the next 2-3 days.
You've just listed 4 or 5 of your key players there. Is that a concern for you?
So it's never nice if you have some injury problems, whoever it is. But yeah, it's always suspension is not nice. Yannick, I mean, I don't have to tell you what he was, how important he was in the last games for us. Ingzi is also not really to discuss, and Reddy is also a player with quality that helps us immediately. But yeah, it is like how it is, and we have to look who is available on the weekend, and otherwise we must find other solutions. And this is why we have a squad, a bigger squad.
So just to be certain, Ralph, sorry, I just missed a little bit of that. With Danny Ings, are you still unsure as to how long he will be out for, if at all?
Yes, if it's enough for the weekend, we must have a look. I mean, nobody can play a Premier League game without training during the week, so time is running, and we must have a look what is about tomorrow or on Friday. And yeah, we have a lot of games coming up now, and it's definitely not the best time to be injured. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, what you have proved as a team, as a squad, I think in the last few weeks is that when a star player like Danny Ings is missing, you've got Theo Walcott, you've got Shea Adams. These guys have really stepped up to the plate, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. We have with Salisu, with Ibra, Diallo, players signed in the summer. They should help us in exactly such a situation. And now we must have a look. What or how many we really give or have to put immediately on the pitch or not. It's not about now to decide. It's very early in the week, as I said, but yeah, at the moment it looks like this.
Ralph, what are your plans for Christmas Day? Do the players come in and train as normal?
A little bit later in the day, like we did last year, and then we train here a little bit later, step in the bus, drive to London, and then yeah, the following day we play the game.
I read this week that Ryan Bertrand had said he would like to finish or end his career at Southampton. Is that the sort of commitment you want to hear as the manager? And how nice was it to hear that yourself?
Yeah, it's not something that surprised me. I think Ryan likes it here. He enjoys what we are doing here. You can see in his mind and in his mood that he really likes what the way we work here, and is always good for an experienced player. And I must say that I was also in the past very happy with him, with his performance. He's one of the most consistent players we have in the defense, and yeah, we are in negotiation, and it's up to both parts that we find a solution for the future.
And just finally, from me, Ralph, apologies if you've answered this in previous press conferences, but we're obviously almost entering the January transfer window. Do you have an idea in your mind of what you're looking for this upcoming window?
I mean, if you want to do something, then we do something for the future, like we did in last winter with Kyle Walker-Peters. Maybe a player, bring him in on loan, and then give him a half-year chance to show if he's good enough for us, and then that we can decide in summer if we want to buy him or not. And this is, I think, the best way to handle it. Everything else doesn't make sense. I think the squad is okay. We are in every position. We have double players there, and this is okay.
So when you say when you say, sorry, Ralph, when you say everything else doesn't make sense, do you mean in terms of any significant outlay on any players that doesn't make sense in January?
Yeah, I mean, in the moment we are more focusing on extending contracts than on bringing new players in, because we have done in the summer three signings, and I think this must be enough for the season normally.
Okay, we'll go to Vicky Sparks with PLP.
Hi, Ralph. Good to see you.
Thank you. Hello.
We just touched on it there, but given the players that potentially you might have out, given the busy schedule, how important is it and how pleased are you that you can put faith in the youngsters, the likes of Ibrahima Nathan Tella, Dan and Lundalu?
Yeah, I mean, we have now the chance to give them time to play, and if it is like this, then they must show that they are good enough for the Premier League, and they have learned quick enough. This is the moment where they are waiting for a long time, and I think this is the chance then to get this opportunity, and then you must be there, and this is what we expect from them.
And Fulham were having a pretty bleak start to the season, but really seem to have turned a corner of late.
Yeah, it was. Maybe you know that we played in the summer one game against them, one friendly game, and we lost there. And I said after the game, I expect them to play a very good season because they have been good organized, good with the ball. We have definitely seen in this game that they have some good qualities, and yeah, good organized, committed team is always a good chance to stay in the league. And I was a little bit surprised that they didn't have a better start, but now they show up extremely and they show how tough they are to beat. And so I expect a very tough game for us.
And of course, their results against Leicester and Liverpool recently are the ones that stand out, but 3 draws in a row as well. Scott Parker is making them difficult to beat. Yeah.
It's a simple thing. If you concede less goals and always danger in counter attacks, or also with the ball calm, I must say that they have a good balance of possession and against the ball. Made a big development. I think we played against this team in a cup game 1.5 years ago, and you could see that they are now on a different level. And this is the result of a good work, I think, a good intense work with the team. And this is the reason why it would be a difficult game one for us.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll go to Adam Blackmore at Radio Solent.
Ralph, good afternoon. Happy Christmas.
Yeah, happy Christmas.
Ibrahima Diallo, you've been very patient with him, as in he's had a few minutes off the bench. He hasn't had that much time in the Premier League. I'm expecting he will come in for Oriol, which is why you signed him. What can you tell us about him as a player? Is he a direct replacement for Oriol, or is he a slightly different player when he's on the pitch?
I mean, there's always a difference between the players. So he doesn't have to play like Ori, but he must make in the center the work, what is necessary for us to do, especially against the ball, being there where you can win balls. I think he's aggressive there. And with the ball, he has also some good decisions. A different player than Ori, no question. But I think he's waiting for his chance. And we will change the game a little bit maybe, but in the end, it's about him to show up.
You've talked about the injuries. What's wrong with Yannick Vestergaard then? Because he obviously played last weekend. We know Danny's got a slight hamstring problem and came off with that, but we don't know anything about Yannick.
Yannick had a few issues with his knee this week. Felt a little bit fluid in the knee, so we must have a look where it is coming from and what we can do. But Yannick is normally a player that definitely can get some pain without immediately stopping playing. So I'm still positive for the weekend, but we must have a look, and I cannot tell you more now because we are still scanning him and trying to find the way why he has problems, and then hopefully he's not out too long.
You've talked about Fulham a bit, but how important is it to get to be honest, to win the game and use your advantage in the league to show you're a better team, because with West Ham and Liverpool around the corner, the Fulham game becomes one which can be a real platform for this period.
Yeah, but I cannot see the easier game against West Ham or Liverpool or Fulham. So they are all tough, and I cannot see that it's easier against Fulham to win against them than against every other team. So it's one of the better organized teams, I think, in the league, with very, very, well, it's not easy to create chances against them. We must find a way through the lines. We must find a way to stress them. It's not easy, but there are some options, and we must have a look at first who is able to play, and then we can discuss the game plan. But in the moment, I have from both not too much, to be honest.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll go to Jim at PA.
Hi, Ralph. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Have you got any update on? Was it Nathan Redmond? Sorry, you said has a problem as well. Can you give us any idea on what that is? Is it the same injury as before? Or?
Yeah, this is again a muscle problem. He is not that stable in the hips like he should be, and that's the reason why he had immediately problems after the last game. And yeah, some deficits from the summer he is now carrying with him, and that's the reason why he's again injured. And this is always something without a good preseason, without a good coming back, is tough to find the highest level. And we are playing now a very intense game. We had a very intense one in the last. I think it was by far the highest stats we ever had against Man City, and you could feel that the players were really going on to the limits. For a few players, this is not an issue. They are so fit, they can handle this. For others, they're not that fit. It immediately caused them some muscle problems, and that's the reason why Ings and Reddy is struggling in the moment.
And was it Did you say Stuart Armstrong? Was it Stuart Armstrong?
Yes. Today on a session. I mean, it's not that bad. I think he can play a little bit.
Does it make your job slightly different then going into this period where you might have to pull a player aside and say, look, I just need to manage you a bit differently?
No, but this is our job as a manager. You can never be sure. On the weekend is everything perfect, and 2 days later, everything can look completely different. This is, and when you work with human, this is always possible. Suddenly somebody's ill or injured or whatever, and then you have to change the team completely. But we are not the only team that has to do this, because you see around the Premier League there are other clubs. They're always struggling with some injuries, and then you have to find a replacement. And this is our job. Never be sure that everything is easy and working easy. Sometimes in the right moment, in the next moment, it can look completely different.
Just finally, Ralph, and when you look back on 2020, what do you feel is the biggest thing you've learned about yourself from these experiences?
Oh, yeah, it was a very, very intense year, I must say. I think we had a very successful year, to be honest. We had successful times where we definitely played fantastic football, and the development of the team. I think when you are that long in your job, I think there are not so many things that really surprises you. But I think the way we developed our game, especially with the ball, was one of the most surprising parts in my managing career so far, because nobody expected that. And when you see them playing now, it's a completely different side. And this is definitely, for us all, a very, very big statement from the team. I think that they have to learn, that they wanted to learn, and they learned very quickly, and we sent them the right messages maybe. And that's the reason why we are now in the position we are. Still very tight there in front. When you win 2 games, you're immediately up on the Champions League spots, and then you move back. When you win 2 weeks, don't win a game, then it's turning quickly. But I think that overall performances and the overall way that we want to play football, it's coming close and to what we really want to see from our team. And this is maybe the biggest or positive things of this very, very negative 2020 with all the circumstances of the virus and everything. But we enjoyed our job, definitely, yes.
Thanks very much for your time. Good luck and enjoy Christmas if you can. Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. Afternoon, Ralph.
Good afternoon.
Firstly, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas. Obviously, it's an intensive period at the moment with fixtures, Ralph. I just wondered how good it's been, injuries aside, to have a week to prepare for the Fulham game, and given the quick turnaround to West Ham after that, whether you actually have to spend some of this time preparing for West Ham as well.
No, we don't spend any time preparing for West Ham. We cannot do it. We must find in this week the way to come to a squad that gives us a chance to be competitive against Fulham. This is tough enough. The more changes you have to make, the more automatism you lose normally. So we must have, we must use this time we have now for preparing as good as possible. And it's right. We have a week now. This is good normally. The circumstances for the injuries is not the best, but it's better to have it in such a week where you can try some things and then find the right decisions. This is okay.
And just on Ibrahima, assuming he is selected, obviously you want to have a competitive and motivated squad. So I wondered how you pitch this opportunity to him, whether it's a chance for him to keep the shirt for West Ham if he performs well, or whether it's about getting some Premier League experience until Oriol returns.
No, I mean, I was always saying that I'm very happy to have the chance now to give him minutes to play because he deserves it. He was waiting hard for this, and I'm sure that he will make a good game. And I would like to see him in a team that has not too many changes, because then it's easier to step in for a new player when everything else is in the right shape and we play like we normally play. The more changes you have to do, the bigger is maybe then the lose of automatism. But even there, it's always possible to find quick. Maybe they need the first minutes to find together, but we will work on this during the week, and we have another 2 sessions, and then we can be hopefully on a level that we say, okay, we trust this team. This team works, and we can go there and play the best possible game.
That's great. Thanks, Ralph. Good luck for Saturday.
Thanks a lot.
We'll go to Dan Rose at the Echo.
Hi, Ralph. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
First of all, obviously, you mentioned Ibrahima there, but you also mentioned Mohamed Salah in the broadcast section and whether he could feature potentially at the weekend. Obviously, you've got to look on Yannick. But obviously, if he were to feature, that would be the first time that he would feature for Southampton. You've seen all the work he's done behind the scenes. Just how excited are you to get him involved when he does eventually get involved?
Yeah, the same like for Ibra. I think he deserves to get a chance now to play. He was waiting very long for it, and I think he said it's a long-term project, and now maybe it's the moment come for him to step in the team and to show up. And I hope he does it in a positive and in a good way.
Obviously, both of those players have come in from overseas over the course of the summer, and they've had the chance to get to adapt to the country, different culture and everything like that. How important is that side of it, that they obviously come into what's a new adventure for them, and you try your best to make them feel at home?
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely here an atmosphere where it is not so difficult to step in and to feel comfortable, to be honest, because everybody is respectful, everybody is open-minded. The young lads are immediately welcome here, and I think one of the biggest qualities of this team is that they take immediately everybody with you, because they need everybody, and they know that we need each other, and they know that we need the best quality of every player, and that's the reason why, although he's a little bit shy sometimes, it was not so difficult to step in the team. They like him, his work ethic, and I think this is he can now show that he is definitely a player for the Premier League, and without giving too much pressure on everybody, I think it's important for them to get a chance, and now they have the chance.
Thanks, Ralph. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Adrian at the Mail.
Hi, Ralph. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. Ralph, just on the adapting for Mohamed and Ibrahima, how important and almost nice is that for you to not have to rush players when they come in for sizable fees? Obviously, all the fans want to see them, and there's a pressure that comes with being a new signing. So how nice is it for them to be able to bed in slowly and get used to your methods and what you want from them?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at all our signings we made in the past 2 years or since I'm here, there was never a player where we say he immediately is the new star in the team. So because for such players, you need to spend maybe double or 3 times so much money like we did, to be honest. You cannot expect that you sign a player for 10, 15 million and he immediately makes you much better than the players we have here, because this is not possible. Because on the market today, we pay for very good players, you play 30, 40 million normally. Yeah. So what we can sign is players, they have potential. They come here, they show that there is potential, and then give us the time to develop this potential and make them better and make them maybe players that really help us. And this is what we did with every player, with Shea Adams, with Kyle Walker-Peters. Theo Walcott was maybe a little bit different because he comes from a very high level and only needs to get the trust in him back, and then he immediately performs. I mean, it was also surprising for me that it was going that quick, that he could show us this performance. But the other players, they were coming in, I think they all needed a little bit time, and this is also with these 2 new ones.
And just lastly, in the first section, you were talking about this year and the strides the team have made. And I think you said it was the biggest surprise of your managerial career. Can you just kind of expand on that? Why, what is it specifically about that makes it such a big surprise? And also, how have you done it? How have the team been able to achieve something that sticks out in your career so much?
So, it sounds a little bit boring, but it was with hard work. So it was no miracle, only hard work on the pitch. And I mean, when I see players like Jan Bednarek or Yannick Westergaard, for example, their game with the ball, or also Ori and Browsey, the 10s, Kyle Walker-Peters, I mean, they all were coming here and were far away from what they play now. And this is why I'm really happy what we do in the moment. It's not only about playing with the ball, it's also a lot about playing against the ball. I think against the ball, we have always been a good organized team, but the decision making after winning the ball and what we do with the ball now is a much more, or much higher level now, I think. And this is what I didn't expect, that it goes that quick, to be honest. From the lockdown on, different team, different performance, and until now, I think we had against Man City 48% possession. I mean, and this was by far one of the footballing best performances we had so far, although we didn't score a goal. And we don't want to change our style completely. We are only a possession team, but I think if you take care of every part of your game, then it is more complete and it's more successful. And this is what we are trying. And the way we went here so far with this team was an interesting one, and so far now also an successful one.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Ralph. Have a good Christmas.
Okay, we'll go to Dan Sheldon at The Athletic.
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, Ralph. First of all, Merry Christmas to you both. Ralph, if I could just start with Ibrahima. What's he like as a person? I've heard you describe him as a player, but in terms of a character and as a man, what's he like?
I think he's very professional. He is a little bit calmer, but also aggressive, doesn't like to lose, is definitely a winner, and knows exactly what he wants to do. And I think to convince him to come here was not so easy, because he really asked questions. I must say that I haven't got so often as a manager. When you sign a new player, he really wanted to know what is about us, and I think everything what we told him here was exactly how he found it. And then the issue for him was only that the team was playing so well, and so it was difficult for him to step in the side. But he also understands this, although he's not happy about the situation. So now it comes the moment where he gets a chance to play, and I don't want to overload him with expectations, but he knows that is enough when he shows me what he can deliver, and when he does this is enough for me.
And what sort of questions was he asking you then in that initial meeting?
Like always, these questions are between him and me, and it should stay there.
No worries. And then just finally, sorry if I may ask a third one quickly. What are the plans over Christmas in terms of training for your team? What's the schedule? Will they be training Christmas Day, or will they get Christmas Day off?
No. Christmas Day is a little bit later in the day training. We have this final session. We need this. and then we depart to London.
Best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll go to Tony Banks.
Hi, Ralph. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You were talking earlier about how well the players had responded to your messages to them. I just wondered, what do you think is the potential of this group of players that you've got at Southampton at the moment? What can they achieve as a group?
We don't know. And to be honest, it's not really interesting me in a moment. I see the potential to be competitive opponent in every game. I haven't seen a team so far where we have no chance to win. And I think this is definitely a good sign for me. And we played well against the big teams and didn't manage to win, but made some draws. And against the small ones, we have now also found a way to defend, to play against deep defending teams, passive teams. So this was very often the issue. They don't give us chances for ball wins, no problem. Then we can also play against them with possession and find solutions to win against these teams. This was necessary, I think. And yeah, now let's have a look how consistent we can play on the highest level, and how we manage some issues with injuries or something like that, and how high quality we have in the whole squad, not only the first 11 or 13 players. Yeah?
And my second question really follows on from that, is that do you think one of the things you've succeeded is raising their individual sort of levels of potential mentally as well? They expect more from themselves now than they did when you first were there. Would that be right?
Yeah, I mean, that was necessary because when you struggle for such a long time here in this club, for 3 years playing for relegation, then there's also a mentality that is not prepared for having 7 games unbeaten runs or something like that. Yeah, and this is something also a mentality that you believe more in what you are doing. And I think this was the most important thing, that we changed this mentality, and we are now on a good way. But it's still not possible to win every game. But we must have, learned from our mistakes, and I think we did. And the rest is about taking it consistently to the highest level.
Thank you, and good luck, Ralph.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go to Jordan Davies with the Sun.
Hi, Ralph. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
You mentioned about, obviously, you've been surprised at how the players have reacted towards you. And obviously, a Premier League manager can never feel 100% comfortable. But do you feel relatively secure now that you're able to go about your job without having to kind of worry about what may be around the corner? You feel you have time now to really work and continue to do what you do?
I mean, if I say with 24 points, it feels more comfortable. I think this is not right, because when you have 24 points, we might want to have the next 3 not less much than if you have 6 points. You always want to have the next 3 points, and you always want to win games. And there's no difference how much pressure you put yourself on yourself. If you are in the relegations or now here in the Champions League spots, we have been 3rd before the last round. So this is not really, I cannot say that I have less stress in the match day because we have now more points. Sometimes you should ask yourself, why do you stress yourself so much? Because we have different targets than be in the Champions League spots, but you are always driven from the success. And I think every manager wants to be as much successful as possible. And when you see how you play, and you see that also against the top 6 teams, there's not so much missing of winning games, and you are still trying to find the small details that maybe are not good enough for us. And this is a different way now, maybe, of stress, but still the same. We want to win games, and the more you win, the more you want to win the next one, because then you get addicted to winning. There's nothing better. There's no better feeling out there than win a game in the Premier League. Yeah.
And just finally for me, you mentioned about the stress. Is there a worry that because your team is playing so well, that the expectations will be risen higher and higher and higher, when actually in your mind and with the squad you have, there are certain expectations, or do you encourage your team to kind of push those expectations higher and higher?
Maybe the second part a little bit more, because what the guys think outside is not really so interesting for me, because they don't have a really few on the issues we have here with the squad, how many injuries we have. We played without Ingsy for a time now. He was back and he's getting injured and not on the highest level. We have a few players, they have a few issues. So we know exactly what we have to expect. And we see also in a game against Man City, we had a few good chances, but the last power in the box, we were a little bit missing in the moment. And this is against such a team, then not possible to score. We have, I think, only 2 games so far where we didn't score. So we scored, I think, 27 goals or 26 so far. I don't know exactly. So this is massive for this amount of games we had so far. But the only expectation, yes, you could feel that the teams are going, and after the game say, come on, we win the next one again, and we win the next one again. And then when you have a run of 2, 3, 4 games unbeaten, winning 3 in a row or something like that, then you are definitely so convinced that you want to make the next. And this is, and also the way we play now, you can feel immediately that if a session is not perfect, if they don't play well in the session, they are frustrated immediately because they expect more from themselves.
Okay, we'll go to Tom Leach at Hampshire Live.
Hello, Ralph. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Hello, Merry Christmas, and congratulations as well on a brilliant 2020.
Merry Christmas.
Starting with Yannick Vestergaard, he'll be a huge loss for you, as you know, if he doesn't get fit for Saturday. He's been phenomenal, probably your best player this season, in my opinion. Should we be worried about that injury? Is it serious? And can we expect your game to maybe change a little bit then on Saturday, with Yannick having been so important for you in moving you up the pitch, especially against Manchester City and Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's definitely a player that was in an unbelievable shape. I think nobody expected him to play like this, and it would be definitely a big loss. This is no question. But yeah, like always, it's not it doesn't make sense when I tell them now the next how serious this is. I don't know in the moment. But when he's out for a few weeks, I tell the players every week, and don't forget, Yannick is not there. That doesn't really make sense. I think we see the top flight of the league. I think they play now since 2 months without Virgil van Dijk, and everybody said, it's not possible. You cannot play without him. And they are not really less successful than before. So everything is possible. I must trust the other ones, and maybe the game changes slightly because Yannick is, especially with the ball, he has fantastic passes and solutions. But we must adapt our game always to every circumstance that it is there.
It's those passes and those solutions that I'm talking about, because we've obviously seen him play so many diagonal balls. You mentioned Van Dijk there, Van Dijk-esque passes really in the last few weeks. Is that something that Mohamed Salah has got in his locker, do you know? Because obviously we've not seen him yet. We can't really see if he's got that side to his game yet.
Completely different player. The first thing is he's a left foot. So left-footed one makes it on the left centre back position a little bit different with the angle of where you play the balls. But we have also Jack Stevens, who is more similar player to Yannick. So I haven't decided now what I do or who plays in the moment, but we must have a look. But we will not make a 1-to-1 sub. This is not possible.
Okay, brilliant, Ralph. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to Adrian at the Mail.
Jordan, did you bring me in?
Yeah, you're in.
Sorry, Ralph. Just lastly on Yannick, you mentioned there about nobody expected him to be playing the way he has been playing this season. Obviously, last couple of windows there's been talk about him maybe leaving. So what's happened? What's behind the turnaround with Vestergaard?
Yeah, we changed our game, and the way we play football now fits absolutely perfect to him. And we take more risk now in building up. We keep the ball a little bit longer. We try to bring him in a position where he can play his passes in the red zone, in behind, and whatever. And this with every good pass you make, with every good decision you make, is the self-confidence is growing, and that means that he also against the ball was in the last games really sensational, and the defending forward, having a good line, not too high, not too deep. I think that fits perfect to him, and we managed to bring the game in a direction that we can definitely count on his biggest qualities, and this is definitely the game with the ball. And that's the reason why he's so good in the moment.
How much credit does he deserve for kind of sticking at it when, as I said, there was talk about him maybe leaving, and also yourself and the club for sticking with him and persisting to try and get him to this point?
I mean, when I had the last conversation with him, we spoke about that he developed, but also we as a club, we developed our game. So we all made mistakes, me too, and sometimes you force something from a player he cannot give you, and then when you change it slightly, suddenly he's a fantastic player for you, because you're not overloading him with things he can't do or he don't want to do. And I mean, this compromises you take sometimes can be a positive booster for every player, and also for me as a manager. And I think the job we have as a manager is to bring from every player the best out of him. And if you can do this, then the chance of having a better squad and being more successful is a big one.
Excellent. Thanks again, Ralph. Appreciate that.
Okay, thanks very much, everyone. Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas.